The golden hour light was just starting to fade across the Charleston skyline when I stepped onto that rooftop. The air carried the familiar mix of saltwater breeze and grilled appetizers, the kind of southern evening that usually felt welcoming. I had come because Victoria texted me earlier that day, "Swing by if you're around." It wasn't a formal invite, but I showed up anyway, dressed in a deep green dress that made me feel put together, carrying a nice bottle of small batch bourbon as my contribution. The hostess at the elevator scanned her clipboard and looked me up and down. "Are you with the event staff or catering?" she asked politely but pointedly. I smiled, explaining I was the bride's sister. She made a quick call, then nodded me through without a wristband or name tag. That small moment already felt off, but I brushed it aside. The party was in full swing, guys in matching navy polos laughing at high-top tables, clinking glasses, music mixing indie covers with classic southern rock. Ryan stood at the center, arm around his best man, holding court like the groom-to-be he was. When his eyes landed on me, he broke into a big grin and pulled out his phone. "Everyone, say hi to the bachelor party," he announced to the camera. Then he panned it toward me. "And look who showed up. My fiancé's sister is here to help keep the drinks flowing. She's basically part of the crew tonight." Laughter rippled through the group. A couple of his friends clapped or did playful bows. Victoria, standing nearby in her effortless curls and cream top, raised her glass and laughed along. No one corrected him. The live stream comments started rolling in fast, laughing emojis. "Family hustle. Good support. Sis." I forced a smile, set the bourbon on the bar, and stepped back, feeling my chest tighten. It was meant as a joke, I told myself at first. But as I hovered near the cheese board in the corner, watching clusters of people chat in their coordinated outfits while my green dress suddenly felt too noticeable, the weight settled in. The bartender even asked if I was coordinating the service. I mumbled something about just supporting the groom and moved on. I needed air. In the restroom, I gripped the marble sink and stared at my reflection. My makeup was still perfect, but my eyes looked different, like I was seeing myself as background for the first time. I texted my dad, "Call when you can." Then I stepped back into the party, staying along the wall. Ryan started another live stream segment. "Time for the real bachelor vibes," he said, toasting last night of freedom before spinning the camera around the room. It landed on me again. "And we've got the bride's sister helping out. Somebody's got to keep those glasses full." The frame held on my face as I took a sip of water. More comments. "She's got the right idea. Family discounts. Keep it moving. Sis." Victoria laughed openly beside him. That laugh, light, effortless, and on it hit hardest. No discomfort. No defense. I edged closer and pulled her aside gently. "Are you okay with how he's framing that on the stream?" I asked quietly. She blinked, then sighed the way she always did when I brought up something uncomfortable. "Elena, seriously? It's just a joke. You're always so serious about everything. Relax." The words landed like they had so many times before. I walked away without pushing further, drifting to the railing overlooking the city lights and distant harbor jazz. Memories surfaced unbidden, college mixers where I was mistaken for her assistant and just smiled and fetched water instead of correcting anyone. Always showing up, helping, then fading into the background. I stayed another hour, observing who laughed, who looked away. When I finally left, the elevator ride felt endless. In my car, I pulled up the save stream clip. Victoria's smirk toward the camera wasn't just amusement, it was knowing. I got home after midnight, apartment quiet and still. Dropping my heels, I sat at the kitchen island and watched the clip again, that moment crystallizing how disposable I had become in their eyes. I poured water I didn't want and stared at an old photo of us with our grandmother. 5 years ago, when Victoria nearly lost her job over an affair with a supervisor. I drove hours, helped craft statements, even took a fall for a paperwork error. She cried lifesaver privately but thanked her team and mentors publicly. When I gently mentioned it later, she laughed it off. We all help family. Don't make it weird. The pattern was clear now. My phone buzzed with a wedding planner email CCing me as support contact, not family or sister. I saved it instead of deleting. Something colder settled in. Not rage yet, but clarity beginning to form. The next morning brought non-stop notifications. The stream clip had been clipped and shared, with Victoria's laugh looped in viral bridesmaid duty memes. A college friend texted, "You okay? That looked rough." I lay in bed staring at the ceiling, replaying Victoria's words at brunch later that day. We met at a waterfront cafe. She arrived in oversized sunglasses and a silk outfit, looking every bit the glowing bride. "You seem tired," she observed. I asked directly about the clip. "It was funny," she said, sipping her mimosa. "Ryan was just being himself. You're the sensitive one. Learn to take a joke." I searched her face for the sister I once knew, blanket fort builder who cried when I got stitches. Instead, I saw someone who had rewritten our dynamic, so I was always the extra. She scrolled her phone, laughing at comments suggesting I wear an apron. After brunch, walking the cobblestones, another text came from our mom. He was kidding. Don't ruin the moment. The dismissal twisted deeper. I sat on a river bench, breeze off the water crisp, recalling a therapist's words from years ago. Silence doesn't always mean maturity. Sometimes it's just fear dressed up nicely. I opened notes and typed, "Who's worse, those who laugh, or those who watch silently?" Clarity grew. 2 days later, at the venue logistics meeting, the seating chart showed me listed as media team assistant on the edge. When I pointed it out casually, Victoria shrugged. We had to adjust. "You've seemed distant." No one corrected her. The napkins embroidered only with their names whispered exclusion. Ryan handed me a schedule to double-check cues. I stood tall. "I'm not your helper or backdrop. I'm her sister." The room froze. I gathered my things and walked out into the thick Charleston heat. Steps measured, release trembling in my hands. At home, I showered in the dark, made tea, and typed, "Things I won't do for this wedding." The line was drawn. Evidence collection began quietly. Screenshots of original invitation files, before access was revoked. Timeline of drafts, the miscredited heirloom necklace photo, where it was attributed to Ryan's mom. A misfired family chat message. "She's going to lose it. I can't believe she still thinks she matters." I exited the group silently. At the rehearsal dinner, I entered the downtown restaurant in a simple navy dress. No smile. The room quieted. Victoria greeted me flatly. Ryan avoided eye contact. My dad, Vernon, played the saved stream audio publicly. Ryan's helped comment. Victoria's whisper predicting I'd apologize like always. I addressed them calmly. "You invited me to serve and laughed. That's not family. You co-signed it for optics." Damon walked out. Whispers followed. My dad hugged me outside. "Some bridges need burning on your terms." I published my first blog post that night, raw but precise, about invisible labor in families. The post gained traction fast. 25K views by morning. Comments from women sharing erased contributions. A forwarded invoice showed my $1,000 venue deposit credited to Victoria. I started visibility is currency. More stories emerged, cropped photos, vendor inquiries crediting others. Instagram stories hinted at people who can't be happy for others. I smiled sharply. Let them start the fire. I have receipts. An envelope arrived for the rehearsal dinner despite my exit. I attended as myself, leading to the confrontation above. Blog reached journalists and summits interested in emotional invisibility. I drove to a Blue Ridge cabin, away from the noise. No wedding hashtag checks. I published the full story with screenshots, timelines, and the deposit proof. Reactions poured in recognition, not pity. A nonprofit reposted. A magazine wanted to feature my design work credited properly. The morning of the wedding, I hiked a ridge trail. Phone buzzing with, "You were right. Sorry from Victoria," ignored. At the summit, wind cleansing. I posted, "Sometimes you have to walk away to see the full picture." Back at the cabin, keynote invites arrived for design summits, focusing on unseen labor. I reclaimed designing for myself. The note from Victoria, "Maybe we lost something too," went into the drawer with receipts. I didn't need the apology. I needed to stop waiting. Closure wasn't slamming a door. It was choosing not to knock. The moral lingers. How many stay small to keep others comfortable? When does endurance become erasure? In reclaiming my voice, I found the picture was always bigger without me shrinking to fit their frame.